mistakes that customers dislike. Sometimes in our day-to-day operation of our business, we make mistakes. And I think it's important that we understand what the customer dislikes so that we can take appropriate action. Customers do get upset, as we do, and I think we need to look at both sides. G'day viewers, it's Jeff McPhee's Gardening, Melbourne, Australia. What the customer dislikes, I think it's important that we understand. So today's video, I'm going to skim over a few things that I've found what a customer doesn't like. Now, because a customer dislikes something, it doesn't mean to say that you've got to bow and scrape and go, yep, whatever the customer says is right. Not always. But there is a lot of times, and I see it in a lot of other contractors too, and I'll be guilty at times as well, that we've done things that the customer doesn't dislike, that dislikes. It might be really small things, and we'll go over them in a minute. Now, in our lawn care and gardening businesses, we've seen it day to day, every day. It's amazing the number of times I see in forums and people will put up a post about what this contractor's done. But we've got to be careful, you know, that criticising others, just worry about what we do, and we all do make mistakes. So some of the things that I've come across over the years are simple things, and you would probably wouldn't even think about it. One, of course, is the actual mowing process itself. Grass, blowing out the grass. Now, how many times do you see people that mowed the grass and edged, and at the end they blow all the clippings out in the middle of the road? I've never done that. I just don't know why people do it. I can't see the sense in it. Look, sure, if it's a really windy day, you're going to get some overspread when you blow around, but it's not that hard to put the grass, blow that back onto the nature strip or to the lawn and mow it up. And customers, they'll notice that. And the most simple one is the porch area, the front door. So you've done a beautiful job of mowing the lawn, beautiful crisp edges. You've blown all the driveway down and footpath, everything looks great, but you haven't blown the main entrance to the front door, the porch area. Now, the lady of the house or the man of the house, whatever it is these days, when they open the door, the first thing they're going to do, they're not going to notice your beautifully mown lawns. They're going to see the grass clippings in the porch area because you just didn't even think to blow that out. It only takes another 30 seconds. I know we're on a time schedule when we're mowing lawns, and we've got to get through them quickly and make sure that we have enough at the end of the day to, to make what we want to make. But just to spend another little minute or two just blowing little extras down like the porch area. If I go out to the backyard, I'm coming back through the garage, I'll blow that down as well, the carport. Look, 30 seconds, just blow all that out onto the lawn and all the garden beds. But it's just a little simple something that people do notice, but they really dislike when they come home and there's grass on the road, on the driveway, and more importantly, in the porch area. They'll notice that. And that's a dislike that I believe, as a contractor, you shouldn't let that happen. I see another bugbear that I see that happens is on a wet day when you're mowing and the grass is really wet and it clogs up underneath the mower. So you've gone from one job to the next job, without cleaning the deck, you put the mower down on the concrete, you started it up, and you start mowing. Of course, what's left behind is a swirl of green sludge left on the concrete. And you blow all that up, but that green sludge is still there, that stain is still there. For the sake of not cleaning your deck prior to mowing, it's an easy process to do. Or if you're taking the grass away, maybe you've got an arrangement where the customer pays that extra to take the grass away. You've got a wet bag. Don't put it down on the concrete because it's going to stain the concrete. You can go and wash it down, but that's going to take up time, isn't it? But there's nothing worse when the client comes home or looks over the job after you've gone and sees green stains on the concrete or on the porch area, or on the tiles, or in the swimming pool. And a lot of people just don't even think twice when they're mowing. They just mow and go. Pay attention to those little things because a customer will dislike that. Staying on the mowing subject, another thing that does annoy people is mowing in the same direction every mow. And what happens after a period of time, you get ruts in the lawn and it becomes uneven. Some people don't care, but some customers dislike that. Simple, just change the direction of your mowing. Every couple of times, just change it diagonally, across, horizontally, vertically. Just change the patterns often, and that'll alleviate a lot of that. What I like to do sometimes, if I've got a lawn, it's a lovely manicured lawn, and it's adjacent to the driveway. So when the customer comes home, often I'll have the lines going towards the customer as they're driving up to the driveway. So instead of being up and down, I'll have them diagonal. Now, of course, I have to change it over a period of time, but I'll always come back to that diagonal, so when they come in, they'll see those lines coming towards them. And especially if you're striping, I mean, you've got the light coming on, you'll see the stripes so much more clearly. Something to have a think about. Customers dislike when you're not prompt. Customers, you tell them you're going to be there at a certain time and you're late. You haven't advised them, you haven't rang them back. They leave you a text message or they leave you a message to answer a query and you don't get back to them straight away. Customers dislike that. Pay attention to your existing customers because they're the ones that are going to get you through in your business. It's important to serve them as best you can. Sure, we're busy, sure we've got other things to do, but it's only a courtesy, a couple of seconds to answer that text back or to leave a message saying, look, I'll get back to you, but at least keep them informed. They like you to be prompt, they like you to be reliable, and they like you to be professional. They dislike when you're not those things. Another thing I always maintain is if I see a problem in the garden or the building or the fence or any aspect on the client's property and there's a problem, I'll let them know. It's very important because if a gate was broken and you didn't tell the client the gate was broken, you could end up getting the blame for it. Yep, I know you didn't do it, but still the doubt is there. How easy would it be to say to the client, listen, that gate, it's not working properly. You'll need to get it fixed. Well, I can fix it if you like. But at least keep the customer informed. Don't walk away. If you see something, just attend to it and tell them about it. And it's like a bit of paper in the garden area and you're just mowing and you leave that bit of paper there. How hard it is for 10 seconds to go and pick that piece of paper up and put it in the bin. It's not that hard. Those little things, I think they call them 1%ers. And I guess this is what this video is about, is it's those little 1%ers that really going to help you along. It's going to alleviate that dislike that the customers, that can happen to them. I'm a firm believer of if you break something, fix it. I see this and I laugh. You break a window from a stone from your mower and you say to the customer, well, I'm not going to fix it because you left the stone there, it's your stone. Look, all right, maybe I am wrong. What I do is I fix it. The stone came from my mower and it broke the window, I know. Yes, I know sometimes that it might not be me, and if it wasn't, well, the customer will know about it. Because what I do, before I mow a place, I check the windows. And if I see a broken window, I'll take a photo of it, which will be date timed. It'll have a date and time on the photo. So I'll tell the customer, you've got a broken window. If they're not home, I'll ring them. If they're home, I'll say, listen, your window's broken before I start. Now, if I do break a window, I fix it. You know, all right, it's their stone, but it's your responsibility to ensure the area is clean. Yes, I know that you want the customer to have that responsibility, but if you're a good operator and you break the window, you've got insurance, get it fixed. A little bit of excess maybe, who knows, but at least get it fixed. If you break a tap, if you break a fence, if you break a gate, get it fixed or get it organised to get fixed. Now, I saw a guy one day, he ran over a water meter and the water's spraying and he put his mower in the ute and he went away. He didn't even tell the customer. That's just absolutely low life to me. If you break something, you fix it. And if you do that, you're going to be rewarded well because the customer's going to trust you. We all make mistakes. And as I say, don't put your head in the sand like a lot of people do. They put their head in the sand and they go, nah, not my problem. I'm only here to mow the lawns. I didn't put those stones there. I didn't put the tap there when in the grass. I couldn't see it. It's your responsibility. That's what I believe anyway. And yes, I know a lot of people say, well, I don't work that way, and that's fine. I don't. I own up to what I do wrong. The other bugbear that can get the customer going is hedges. We've trimmed the hedges and clippings dropped on the ground. Now, some people, and I'm guilty of that, blow it underneath because that leaf matter will rot down and it's good mulch. Now, some customers may have decorative stain under there, or they may have a stain coloured mulch, or they might just have plain dirt. Some customers don't like having rubbish underneath the hedge, and therefore, when you do clean up, make sure that you rake it all up, blow it out from the garden bed underneath, and it's clean. As I say, ask the customer, is it all right if we put the prunings underneath the hedge, or do we clean up? Now, I've seen a lot of them if it's a pathway, a concrete pathway next to a hedge, and what they do, they get the mower and they mow all the clippings up. Yeah, it's all right. If they're a little bit damp, the cuttings, what happens is the stain will come onto the concrete, a bit like the old grass situation. So I just rake it all up and just put it in a heap and put it in a bag it up, and then just blow off the excess. A dislike that some people say, well, that's tough, that's the way I do it. Yeah, well, maybe. I just like to keep the customer satisfied, and I don't think that's too much to ask for. And I know my wife, she drives her nuts if I don't clean up underneath the hedge. She likes it nice and clean. And I've got a few other customers like that. They'll have a stone decorative. They want it all nice and clean. I haven't got a problem with that. Of course, you charge extra because when you do the quote, it's going to take you longer to do all that. But that's what you do when you estimate how long it's going to take you, and therefore how much it's going to cost the client. Another dislike that I've watched customers is the blind side of the house. It's the house where no one accesses other than maybe they go to the rubbish bin, or they might have a little washing line out the back, but it's out of the way. But it's surprisingly, I look after a well-to-do garden, and the first thing the lady does is she comments, oh, I'm so pleased you cleaned the sideway up, the blind side, and made sure it's spotless. So when you're maintaining the garden, think about the blind side, because we forget about that. We don't sell behind the shed, for example. So just another dislike that some customers, you may come across that as well. Probably 1,055 different things that I haven't covered and what customers dislike, but they're the ones that I've come across over all these years. And again, it's like the weeding the garden beds, that you'll take a shortcut, you weeded everything where they can see. And there'll be some areas where you might get away with just perhaps whippy snipping it, or you might just scrape the top off it. I've seen some people do that. Or mulching, that's another one. How many times have I seen people lay the mulch and you've told the customer it's going to be 3 inches. So what you do, or I've seen done, I haven't done it myself, I promise you I've never done this, but what I have seen is that they'll have where the people walk along the garden bed near their front door or the driveway, they'll have it at the 4 inches or 3 inches, whatever's been specified. But you can bet your life, if you went up the back behind the tree, it'll be half an inch or a quarter of an inch, barely a coverage, because they think that they can stretch it out a bit. If you say you're going to provide 75 mil for 3 inches or 4 inches, do that right throughout the garden bed. Don't take the shortcut, because I've seen customers, and I remember one that I was doing a job and this contractor was doing it next to me, and he laid all the mulch and off he went, and he called me over. He said, mate, what do you think of this guy? I said, mate, I'm keeping right out of this. This has nothing to do with me. So he's gone around his garden, he's got a rule and he's checked. He said, yep, thought so. I said, well, what's happened? He said, he's shortcut me on a lot of the areas. So, well, you know what to do. You get back to him and you'll sort it out. So don't believe a customer closes his eyes, because he doesn't. And you don't want to have a customer's dislikes through the fault of you. So overall, I think it's important we're trying to provide customer satisfaction, and that's what we've got to really work on, the positives. The dislikes, we're always going to have them. You can't avoid them. It's not 100% foolproof, but if you can keep them to a minimum, it's going to make your job a lot easier. And it does, trust me, it does happen to us all. And please don't put your head in the sand, because I see people that put their head in the sand and walk away and don't care. If you don't care, you obviously don't want to do the job. It's like the guy when he's mowing the lawn and he throws all the grass out on the road and then drives off. Obviously he doesn't care. I see council workers do it when they do all the parks and gardens. Well, I expect that because they're getting the minimum wage and they're only there for the job. But when you're running a business and you do that, to me, you don't care about the job, you don't like the job, and you shouldn't be in the job. You shouldn't be owning that business because it puts a bad name on the rest of us. And I really get my back up when I see it. I don't say anything, I'm too old to do any of that now, but you really got to take pride in your work. You know, if you don't show the passion, you don't show the pride, you're going to fail. All right, viewers, thanks for watching. I'd love to hear your comments. There must be a few other things I've missed or some good stories that you got to tell us. We'll see you on the next one. Thank you. Bye.